Good afternoon, everybody. We've actually managed to get the screen so that we get both Matthew and me in, so he doesn't have to sit down. So I'm very thrilled with that. Today, we're going to introduce our new syrups that have come in. And we're very thrilled. They're coming in time for Christmas. And I've been experimenting with them. I've made some gingerbread men. Using, what was it I used? Oh, the sugar beet syrup for the gingerbread men. And I've just made some candies with the coconut nectar sugar. There. Can you see? His arms are longer. Don't drop them. Okay. So that's a nice dark coconut nectar sugar. We've got an echo, is that because of that?
Yeah. I need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So today we're just going to give you an example of what these taste like. Give you a heads up basically as to what they are. And we're going to start off with the simplest one of all, which is the wheat sweetener, which Matthew is going to tell you about because he did the research. Okay? I didn't print yours off.
Oh, okay. So this is our wheat sweetener. Yeah.
Made from wheat.
Yeah, it's made from wheat.
You've forgotten your research, have you?
Yeah, so it says that the ingredients is comprised of a organic wheat starch and water, and it's ideal for use. It's used for baking, and it's also fructose free. Yeah, this is the first syrup of the 5 that we're gonna talk about in today's live.
Awesome. Put you on the spot, but you did well. Don't worry about it. Okay, the next one is a corn malt syrup. And this, go with the long arms again. This is made by mixing corn flour, barley malt, and water. This gives a thick, light brown syrup. So where the wheat sweetener is very light and won't colour anything that you're making, this is a little bit darker. I think you can see. And it actually has the benefits that the barley malt syrup has. So we have the phenolic antioxidants, we have the flavonoids, we have the melanoidins, B vitamins, water soluble, then soluble fiber, tryptophan, hordenine, but it's diluted with the corn flour to make a much milder sweetener. This is free from fructose, and it's ideal to use for more delicate biscuits, for cereal bars, things where you don't want a strong flavor.
Yep.
So you could also add a little bit into your sauces. You could pop a little bit into your yogurt if you need sweet yogurt. Some people do. And of course, if you have nut milks or grain milks or soy milks, then you could add a little bit of this into that because it wouldn't color it very much at all. Now we go on to my favorite, which is the barley malt. But we'll talk about the taste later.
Yeah.
Because we have a difference of opinion here. Okay, so the barley malt is probably the one that is best for you. There we are, with the long arms again. Very good. Very useful. Okay, so this barley malt syrup is made in Belgium, and it's made from whole sprouted barley. Now, if you know a little bit about Belgium, you know that their beer is very good.
Yeah.
And of course, barley is made into beer there. So they sprout the barley grains, and then they use a traditional malting process with natural enzymes, and they come up with this fantastic barley malt extract, which can be used then for making the beer, but it can also be added to your baking or your cooking or anything like that, and it will then enhance whatever it is, with all the goodness that it has. Now, you've heard me talk about barley before. Barley, of course, has the soluble beta-glucans and the pectin. This is the soluble fiber that's thought to be very beneficial in keeping your blood sugar in balance and in keeping the cholesterol from clogging up your arteries. So just as oats and barley in their grain form are good for you, so this sweetener, because it is a sweetener, also is very good for your health. So it is mostly maltose, which is a sugar which is similar to fructose. And then there's about 30% complex carbohydrates. Now, unlike white sugar, this is actually complex carbohydrates, so it's more slowly released into the bloodstream. Okay? It also has tryptophan, which I mentioned with the corn malt sweetener. Tryptophan, of course, is very helpful for what?
Tryptophan.
Yes, what's it for?
Oh, shucks, I forgot.
Okay, it's very helpful for sleeping at night. I don't know if all of you are old enough to remember malted drinks like Ovaltine and Horlicks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, there's Maltesers, they're malted as well, right?
Yes.
So those have maltin, and they have a certain percentage of tryptophan, which helps when you go to sleep. It helps you to have a better sleep. There's also something called hordenine, if I'm pronouncing that correct. Yes, hordenine. And that's very interesting because hordenine has been shown to activate the dopamine D2 receptor. So you get a feel-good effect with the hordenine in the barley malt. So not only do you have the tryptophan, but you have the hordenine as well. We're just trying to cut out some of the feedback noise that we're getting. Okay, very good. That's it? Lovely. Oh, so, wow, thanks for your support. That's lovely to see you. That's great. Okay, so the malt syrup, as I said, is also good for your gut because of the soluble fiber. It improves the digestion, it feeds the good bacteria, it minimizes the bad bacteria. And of course, if your gut is healthy, then it will help prevent other illnesses, and it will also help in nutrient absorption. So it doesn't matter how much you eat, if your gut's not healthy and not in balance, you're not going to be absorbing any of the good nutrition, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what were the points of the barley malt?
I remember it has tryptophan that helps you sleep.
Yes, and it actually stimulates the serotonin and the melanin. Yes, okay. So that helps with sleep. What else? It's packed full of antioxidants.
Right.
Okay. It has the B vitamins. Everybody knows that a beer has B vitamins. This is before the fermentation process. But again, because we've sprouted the seeds, we've increased the amount of B vitamins. Very, very interesting. Sprouting is a very good process for increasing the nutrition of a grain. Okay, what else? Were you listening to me? Hordenine, very good. Okay, so hordenine is that feel-good chemical that actually stimulates the dopamine receptors, and it actually sharpens your mental processes and gives you better energy levels and dispels depression and anxiety. So that's my rah-rah for the barley malt syrup. Okay, very good. We've got beet sugar, which I said I've used in the gingerbread men.
Yeah.
So the beet sugar syrup is more interesting for Europeans. This is something they're more familiar with. We can't grow sugarcane in Europe like you can grow here in the tropics. So the source of our sugar in Europe is usually sugar beet. Now, unfortunately, sugar beet is one of those things that they've tried to genetically modify. So the advantage again of this organic beet sugar syrup is that it's not going to be genetically modified. Whenever something is organic, it's not going to be genetically modified. So you can rest assured that that is something which is going to be, again, much better for your gut. We're really not sure how genetically modified substances are affecting the gut, and there have been reports that it's not beneficial, but we won't go into that today. We're going to talk about sweets because we're going towards Christmas, and these are things that you can use in your cakes, in your biscuits, and of course to make candies. So the beet sugar syrup has a sweet taste again. We're going to do a tasting later on. It's got a darker brown color and a fresh smell. It's made from freshly harvested Dutch sugar beet. So this one comes from Holland. Okay. And it's largely sucrose. So again, as far as I'm concerned, all these sweeteners should only be used as condiments, just like you would use salt, just a little bit in your cooking. Okay. In fact, the American Heart Association has recommended that you shouldn't eat any more than 9 teaspoonfuls of sugar if you're a man, sweeteners, whatever you like to call it, or 6 teaspoonfuls if you're a woman. So you can have 3 more than me.
Wait, why is there a difference?
Oh, you're bigger than me for a start, so you can cope with more sugar. You're younger, so I'm sure you can cope with the sugar in a better way. But usually, men are able to cope with larger amounts of substances and still remain healthy. So as I said, this is an organic product, so the beets have not been genetically modified, they haven't been irradiated, and of course the syrups, as they're organic products, contain absolutely no additives. The beet sugar syrup is particularly acceptable for vegetarians, lacto-vegetarians, and can be used as a substitute for honey for pure vegans. In Germany, it's called Zuckerrübensirup, and it makes a delicious spread on their bread. Their bread is, of course, very hefty, so you can spread a little bit of the Zuckerrübensirup on the bread. It's also good for if you use it for sweetening sauces. You can, of course, use it in beverages. You can put it in your coffee. You can put it in your tea. You can make desserts with it, chocolates, candy. Use it to sweeten ice cream, and, of course, baked goods like cookies and cakes. You can look for it in the new recipe for gingerbread men that we'll be putting up shortly. I only used a tablespoonful in the whole mixture. So, as I said, it's more condiment-like. Because of the high purity of the sugar beet syrup, it's also used in solution to overwinter the bees. So in Europe, we are quite fond of our bees, and we try to take care of them by offering them a pure sugar solution. So that's the sugar beet syrup. It could be very, very interesting for vegans. Okay. And then the last one we've got 5 in total, is our coconut nectar syrup. And that comes in from Indonesia. And that's what we were playing with the candy that we just made.
Yep.
So it's a coconut nectar syrup snow candy. And I really like the taste of that.
Yeah.
We'll get into the taste in a minute.
Yeah.
The coconut palm, of course, is perhaps one of the oldest living trees that produces flowers. So it's not surprising that man learned to tap into the coconut blossoms and extract the nectar and use it then to make syrup and, of course, coconut sugar. If you do that to the blossom, of course, you don't get a coconut.
Yeah.
Now, that can be a good thing if you live close to coconut trees. So you don't want coconuts falling on your head, So if you tap the coconut nectar in the ones around your house, that's a good way to avoid being hit on the head with a coconut.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Okay, so it's made from 100% Indonesian coconut flower bud sap, and the farmers can tap the blossoms, and they can continue to tap the blossoms for over 20 years. So it doesn't hurt the tree either, which is very good. It contains mostly sucrose and smaller amounts of glucose and fructose. And it also contains inulin, which is a prebiotic fiber. So again, one of the sweeteners that is useful for your gut. I'm trying to basically get you away from white sugar.
Yeah, white sugar is bad.
Oh, white sugar's bad.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good.
Everyone uses white sugar, but we're always trying to find alternatives.
Yes,
to it, right?
yes.
Yeah.
White sugar, in fact, leaches minerals out of your body, so it's not something you really want to be eating. The raw coconut nectar sugar has 17 amino acids, including glutamic and aspartic acids, which are, of course, the natural flavor enhancers. So when we did the tasting test earlier, this one was the favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it stimulates the
It's also
taste buds.
Chloe's favorite.
Chloe's favorite as well. Okay, so again, naturally, these are preservative-free. There are no artificial additives, and it's a nutritious syrup with a very low GI. So maximum GI would be about 39, so it's still in the low range. So that's something to think of if you're worried about your blood sugar. Again, you can use it drizzled over ice cream. You can use it drizzled over your breakfast cereal, over pancakes. You can use it in cakes and cookies, or in, of course, chocolate preparations. It would be a nice sweetener to add if you're making chocolate. It's got a rich sweet taste and a slight salty aftertaste. So now we're going to put Matthew through the tasting.
Okay. I'm ready.
We've got a whole series of spoons.
Should we move it to the side?
No, it's not. Just,
Okay.
Yeah. Just,
Okay, so we'll be starting off with the wheat sweetener, the one that the first syrup that we
so
talked
this
about.
is the lightest and the mildest.
Yeah, you can see from the color. It's the lightest out of 5.
And I want a description of the taste now, Matthew.
Okay.
This is for the dirty spoons, okay?
Okay.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
So your best description, please.
I would say that it tastes quite plain. It tastes like honey, like a light version of honey.
Like an acacia honey, right?
Yeah, like an acacia honey.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. It's it's a very simple syrup that I think most people would, they wouldn't mind using it. They wouldn't mind having it in their kitchen to substitute regular. You can substitute honey.
Would you put it in your coffee or your tea?
Maybe tea.
Okay.
I think coffee may not. Yeah, this may not suit coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe tea.
Okay, let's try the next one.
I feel like it's the wheat sweetener is something that you can't dislike because it's so simple.
Well, you can't dislike it.
Yeah.
I do though. Not enough taste.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the only argument for the wheat sweetener. Okay, so here we have the corn malt sweetener. This one is way more viscous and darker in color.
So remember the color comes probably from the malt because the corn is fairly light. How does that taste? You can be perfectly honest. Honesty is the best policy.
Okay, I think I would like to start off by saying that I prefer the wheat sweetener.
Okay.
Because this one has a, like I say, it's thicker.
Yes.
Right, it's more viscous.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it has a aftertaste that I'm not so fond of, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Give it a wash.
Yeah.
Very good. So that was the combination of corn and barley malt. Now we're going to go on to the barley malt, which as far as I'm concerned is the most nutritious. There you go, have another spoon.
Oh yeah, from comparison, this is way darker than the wheat sweetener.
Yeah.
Then this is the barley
That's
malt
the barley
sweetener.
malt, yes.
It's even darker, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Definitely.
slightly.
Should be also thicker. The corn
Yeah.
actually thins out the
It's-
barley malt.
It's even more viscous than the other one.
Very good. Now I want you to taste all the antioxidants, huh? All the B vitamins, all the minerals. He's not having a good time.
There's a sour. It's a bit sour at first.
Sour is good.
Wait, take look at this.
Yeah.
Take a taste test.
Okay. I won't take a lot.
And there's a very
What's
strong.
not to like?
There's a very strong aftertaste.
What's the aftertaste like?
Barley. That's the best way to describe the aftertaste.
But barley is pretty neutral if you ever eat it as a grain.
Yeah, I have. I don't know. It's just something doesn't sit right with me. Maybe I'm just not fond of this syrup.
It's also what you're used to.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
I grew up with that, so I'm used to that.
Gina said hi to us.
Oh, hi Vina. Thanks for joining us again. We really appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, now on to the beet sugar.
Okay, so for the fourth one, we got the beet sugar, and
That's
it's even darker. I think is it the darkest one?
Yes, I think it is.
I think it's-
Although coconut nectar sugar is,
Yeah, it's pretty dark as well.
but
But
the coconut nectar sugar is less viscous. That's how to differentiate.
all right, I see.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go for the taste test. What do those Europeans do for sugar?
Oh, it's a very strong smell.
Okay. What does it smell of?
Can't tell.
Is it earthy? Is there an
Yeah.
earthy smell? Okay.
Earthy.
Because remember,
No.
sugar beet is related to beetroot. Okay. Beetroot, of course, is also sweet. But the sugar beet is usually a white root.
This-
So the sugar beet is a white root. Beetroot is different, okay? Beetroot is the red root. So this is sugar beet here, not beetroot. Whoever's doing the
Oh.
captions.
So I think this one is the most distinct syrup.
Okay.
It
Yep.
tastes the most different.
Yep.
But I don't really like it. Either.
I think you grow up with certain tastes, and that's what you're used to. You know what I mean? It's like I'm
It's-
used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this might be the sweetest one, is it?
Quite possibly.
I mean, so far, I think the coconut
yes.
nectar
I think that's a good
syrup was-
observation. That's a good observation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more excited for the coconut.
Okay,
syrup.
okay. Let's get to the coconut nectar sugar.
Yeah.
Put that one down. Let's put the lid back on that one. And then I'm going to be really wicked at the end of this. I'm going to make him taste molasses.
Oh man, okay. So this is the coconut nectar syrup, the one we were talking about. I think it comes.
It's about as
Yeah.
dark as the sugar beet.
It's a tie between the beet sugar.
Okay. But the viscosity is very different.
Yeah, it's very.
Very
I don't know if you
liquid.
can see this, but
It
it's
flows.
yeah, it's not viscous. It's the viscosity is way lesser than the one we had before.
Well-
So,
Enjoy.
so this one should taste nice, right?
Absolutely.
There's no residue. Oh. Yep, this one tastes just like syrup.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, it's the sweetest one
Yeah.
out of the 5.
When we were doing the test earlier, Chloe said it tastes like the filling of Ondeh. Yes,
Oh yes.
absolutely. Yeah,
It tastes like the filling of Ondeh.
And we may have to go back to it after the molasses, because the molasses, I think, will be a shock.
Oh man, this is my first time trying molasses.
See if I can open it. There we go. Okay, just a little bit.
So what's it supposed to taste like?
Molasses would be what my mother made gingerbread with. So it gives a
What does it smell
wonderful, rich flavor, and it's full of minerals.
It smells like cough syrup. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. The taste is so strong.
Yep.
I don't even know what I'm tasting.
Wow.
It tastes like medicine.
But again, you just put a little bit in there. But to me, there's a very strong mineral taste. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes like medicine.
So for me, that's what I associate with my mother's gingerbread, which was very good, by the way. So very strong mineral taste to the molasses, by contrast. So there you have it. We have our 5 new syrups. We have our wheat sweetener, our corn malt sweetener, our barley malt sweetener, our beet sugar sweetener, and our coconut nectar syrup.
Which is the best. Not including the molasses, because yeah.
Okay, so that's very good. And all of those, as I said, should be used as a condiment. So just like you would use a little bit of salt to enhance the flavor of whatever you're cooking, so you just use a little bit of the sweetener to enhance whatever it is you're cooking. So now we're going to try again and see if we can make the candy.
All right, the snow candy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just move these things.
And it's lovely. Better give me the coconut nectar syrup though. We are going to make candy with the coconut nectar syrup.
What is it?
Very good. Okay. The spoon's in the sink. Those back over there. Mind the wire. Okay, Sam. Very good. So for the candy recipe, it's very, very simple. I froze some ice and ground the ice, and I've just got a tray now with the ice waiting in the freezer, and Matthew's going to run for it when we get to the softball stage on the candy thermometer here. Okay, so you want to switch me on down the bottom?
Sure.
I've got freshly grated ginger, so we're going to be very tropical. We've got ginger and coconut nectar syrup, and I think the combination goes quite nicely. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a big fan of ginger.
But ginger's good for you.
Yes.
And the other thing we're using is a little bit of this
Himalayan
rock salt, because that's a nice sweet salt taste when you make the candy itself.
You want me to?
Yes, the long arms, please.
So
Okay.
this is the Himalayan pink rock salt that you can find in our store and also online.
Yes.
Our website.
And it's large crystals, so you don't get a lot of salt. When it's finer, then of course you get too much salt. So we've chosen that one because we think that's the best combination. Okay, so I'm going to now just pour the coconut nectar syrup into the pan, and I'm going to turn it on. Okay, and I'm going to be stirring it quite quickly once the heat starts going. And I have 1 tablespoonful of freshly grated ginger And this is the local Thai ginger, so it's not the very intense Peruvian ginger. There it is there. Or there. Showing it to the wrong camera. So I've just got 1 tablespoon, which is going to go in. So those are your 2 ingredients. It's well,
coconut nectar syrup and the
yes. It's okay. Well, good. Too much on you.
ginger.
Very good. The spoon had stuck to the bottom with the batch that we made earlier. Okay. It's heating up, so it will melt. Very good. Do you want to give it a stir too? Nice to have assistants to do the stirring. Just gently. It will melt. Promise. Just gently. So those are the shapes. We've just basically taken the lolly and we've wrapped the candy around it. We've sprinkled on the Himalayan salt very quickly. And I have to say quickly is the key to everything here. Because if you're not quick, it actually cools too quickly and it goes brittle. So we're going to try and do 1 at a time, or maybe 3 at a time. And then pop it back on the stove to keep it liquid. How's it going?
It's melting.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it feeling good?
Yeah, it feels very smooth.
Okay, good.
Except this.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a stir for luck, yeah? And the temperature is about 140 on the temperature now. On the thermometer.
So you put in the end product, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll have to take that one.
Okay.
It's very sticky.
So this is how it's supposed to look like. It's like a lollipop.
And it's very delicious because we were eating it yesterday. Okay, do you want to take the camera and show them the frothing?
Yeah. You can switch to.
Yeah,
Okay,
awesome.
perfect.
Where's the best way?
Yeah, yes.
That's good.
So, yeah, you can see.
And the temperature is now up over 200. It's about 210. That's the water coming off out of the syrup, of course.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to see.
Yeah, it's very hard with the steam, right?
Maybe
It won't make any difference, will it?
I think it will.
Oh,
The steam
okay.
is going the other way.
That's because the aircon's blowing, right?
Yeah.
I'm the wireman.
Yeah.
Okay, 220. It won't be long now to the softball stage. As soon as the softball stage is reached, Matthew will put down the camera and run for the ice.
Oh, yes. I'm ready.
Okay.
So what's the temperature now?
220.
I don't think you can see the temperature. But,
There's a little marker on the sugar thermometer that tells you basically when to stop if you want the softball stage,
yeah.
which is what we want. But of course, if you're making hard candy, then you take it up a little bit higher to the hardball stage. Still hanging in there around 220. So we're integrating the ginger into the coconut nectar syrup. It's creeping up, creeping up.
You can see there are bubbles.
Yep, definitely. And you can see it's thickening. Can you see that? Can you see
Yeah.
the change? Okay. Okay. This is the part where you need to be patient as it creeps up.
Yeah.
It's about, I think it's about 230 now. And 240 of course is the soft ball stage.
Yeah. So just a little more, and I will have to grab now.
Looking like lava now, right?
Yeah. Molten lava.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually start to smell.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's not a ginger.
Awesome. I like the lids as well. They put a nice, simply natural sticker on the top of that. I think that looks gorgeous. Nearly there.
The smell is getting more intense.
Okay, we're there.
Okay.
Heat off.
Let's
And then we
back to
just
the main camera.
take that off. Main camera, please. Main camera, please. Thank you. Okay, I'll just carry on stirring it for a bit.
So Ceri actually made this in advance. That's a tray of ice.
And I need to take the sugar thermometer off. Get as much off as I can. Just pop it in there. It's fine. Should be fine. It will drip in there. Okay. Now the difficult bit is to pour it and then very quickly pop the salt on.
We got the other camera.
Okay, so there's my sticks ready. And the froth has gone down a little bit now. So I'm just going to pour a little bit on. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then a little bit of salt. I have to be really fast because otherwise it just will. There. Okay, so it's just catching. It's very hot, so you have to be careful of that. And that goes on the paper. See, this has already started to cool too much. Okay, which means I'm going to have to be even faster for the last one, otherwise it would be too brittle. And here we go. Okay, managed it. Okay, phew. Very good. Okay, you can see that's still very hot inside. Hot enough to burn my fingers. Okay, let's try the next lot. The good thing is you can put it back on and melt the toffee again. I tried doing it with 6, but I just wasn't fast enough, so I'm doing it with 3. Salt. You can see that it's now beginning to have little spider webs, which means that it's going up to the cracking stage. My mother used to make the most wonderful sugar strands to go on profiteroles. See if I can pick it. No, I think that's gone too hard already. See? It's too hard.
So you gotta be quick.
Very, very quick.
Yeah.
Very, very quick. See, this one is just about ready. Okay. And then the ones that were very hot, of course, are going into a funny shape, so you'll have to mold them again later. Okay, I'll try turning the tray round because I haven't had them there. Okay. One. And back again. Okay. More. Out there. I might get one more, I think. Okay. This one's very squiggly. Okay, I'm going to call that a day and put that back on there. A little bit of salt again. There we go. Whoa. That one's beginning to get too cold. See, that forms quite nicely now when it's colder, but it's just, if it's too cold, it will crack.
Right. Go harder now.
Okay. Very good. See, this one is cracking. I just made it. Okay, very ugly one. Okay, done. So, can we go back to the main camera, please? Thank you. So, I think that one probably looks the best, right?
Yeah.
On our. So that was about the right temperature when we moved it. The others will have to wait and then reform them because I probably was too fast for those. Earlier today we tried it and they were cracking on me, so I wanted to be super fast, maybe too fast this time. So this is great fun. This is something that you can really enjoy. You could do this for Halloween.
Yeah, and it's actually really simple, right? So
Really simple.
even people who don't cook like me can make it actually.
Okay, you're making it next time, okay? Okay. Very, very good. Okay, so they're beginning to look more like the lollipops they should be now. Don't be afraid to get in there with your fingers. There, see? Just moulding it onto the end of the lollipop. There. Like that. Yummy. Hey, so that was our snow candy. Thanks very much for listening to our talk about our new sweeteners. That was very, very good. Anything we've forgotten? Anything we've forgotten, Chloe?
Yeah, we haven't tried the candy.
Oh, please have a candy.
Thank you.
Chloe, Janine, candy.
We will wait for everyone.
Wait for come round and join us. This is the team. There we go. Okay. Cheers, everybody. That's still soft. Very good. Pass? Pass? Okay, very good. So this is a recipe you can try at home. This was the coconut nectar syrup, which was the favorite in the taste test. That doesn't surprise me at all because I would actually agree. even though I'm from Europe, I think this tastes the best. So this is coconut nectar syrup. Fantastic stuff. Do try. The candy's very easy. I think if you have the new Thermomix 6, you have a candy making program for that as well. But we wanted to show you how to make it in the old-fashioned way with a candy thermometer. So all you would need is a candy thermometer and take it up to the soft ball stage. Thanks very much, everybody. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Wait, let's show the recipe.
Oh, she's a good girl.
Okay.
She's going to show you the recipe. You got the recipe?
Yeah.
Okay. What a team. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
so-
you.
You can take down the banner. Yeah. So over here we have the ingredients, right?
Yep.
3 of which we have the photos on there, can be found on our website.
Yep.
Or in store. You can come find us.
Yes, come
Yeah.
find us or
Yeah.
order it online at.
ZENXIN.com.sg is
Yeah,
over there.
they've
on the
changed
screen.
it again, yes.
Yes.
ZENXIN.com.sg.
Yeah, be sure to check out our website and our new products.
So 1 cup is basically 1 jar, just to let you know. Thank you and goodbye. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.